if I'm in any pain,
hey guys.
The guy is unbelievably wonderful.
We're back.
I mean, thank you so much. I wouldn't have been able to eat. I wouldn't have been able to
Oh my
go.
goodness.
I would have looked like a pumpkin.
Everybody needs a great dentist, and of course, for you Steve Kane listeners,
oh
you
boy.
have one. Dr.
It's
Gupta,
showtime.
Over there
is that
Bright
puberty?
Dental. He takes really good care of you. He's very kind.
I got a little puberty in my voice.
You know, dentistry is an art.
Here we go.
Stop and you think about it. And Dr. Gupta certainly is an artist, and we're so pleased to have him with us.
Yeah, I just wanted them to know if you need a dentist, and the guy is so good at what he does, he's so gentle, and I mean, I don't like dentists. This guy is top shelf, and I'm going down to him to get it permanently put in, but right now, I don't have any pain. I can eat anything I want. Incredible.
Take Richie the bus driver's advice and go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. Call 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
You are listening
Welcome,
to
guys.
South Florida's
Here we go.
Morning Radio Show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE 1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE 1. And now, here's...
Hey guys, welcome to the program. It is 36 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. It's Tuesday, September 21st, 2021. And man, we got a lot to talk about today. There's no getting around that. If you're new here, welcome to the program. If you love Trump, you're going to fall in love with this program, I promise you. If you don't love Trump, listen to us long enough, you will. You'll have an awakening. You'll be like Keanu Reeves in the first Matrix. All right? I'm telling you, you will be. Well, there is a lot to talk about, and you know what the mainstream media, the squad, the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, and all the rest are doing to our border patrol at the southern border is outrageous. You know, the southern border is being overwhelmed. There are more people, there's people coming by the thousands. They've got 14,000 or more that are just Haitian refugees coming across the border. Plus we have the regular inflow of Hispanics coming across the border. And the Border Patrol are completely overwhelmed. The place where the crossings are happening is, it's basically a desert. It's that way on purpose to make it a little more difficult to, cross and everything. And the Border Patrol, I was watching this yesterday on television, and I woke up today to a whole new reality of what I was watching. I was watching the Border Patrol on horseback yesterday, and I thought it was pretty amazing what they were doing. It was like the Old West down there. They're on horseback, forcing people back across the Rio Grande and this invasion that's taking place at our southern border. And I thought it was pretty amazing, well thought out, and showing that even though they're overwhelmed, they're and in a very difficult situation because of the land, the terrain that they're in, that they have found a way, and it's to go horseback, which is amazing. That here we are, 21 years into the 21st century, and our southern border in the Old West, they're back on horseback patrolling. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Yeah, it is. And I thought it was pretty cool. I was watching that. And then I wake up this morning, and I start going through the news, and I see these stories. I'm like, this is crazy. This is clickbait. This can't be true. These liberals, they cannot have gone this far. The media, the Democrats, Pelosi, the squad, the Democrats, the usual suspects, they are accusing our Border Patrol on horseback of using whips against the Haitians that are illegally coming across the border. And of course, I'm going to play some audio of what they said about this a little later, but they accuse them of using whips against the Haitians, and of course, that harkens back to the days of slavery. Now, most of what you see when they use this story, they're using still images and not video. And still images can be incredibly deceiving. And what the Democrats, the left, and all of them have mistaken for whips are the horse reins, the reins of the horse. And in a still picture, if it's taken from a certain angle, and you've got a Haitian standing in a certain angle with the horse and the reins, and the horse is going crazy because it's craziness going on. The guy on horseback galloping and everything from the Border Patrol. The horse reins are moving a little bit, and the Democrats see whips. Where I didn't even notice it until they pointed it out. When they said they're using whips, I went to look, and I'm like, where are the whips? And then I'm looking, oh, they're talking about the reins of the horses. So obviously the Border Patrol are not using whips. This does not harken back to slavery, but Democrats see whips. Democrats see whips. They live in it. They see a different world than we see. And the reason they see whips is because that's where their mind is all the time. The Democrats, of course, are racist, and the Democrats are the ones back in the days of slavery and whips. It was the Democrats that were using whips on black slaves, African slaves, African-American slaves, because all the slave owners were Democrats. So maybe that's why they see whips. But no, they're not whips. And what they're doing to our Border Patrol, who are in an incredibly difficult situation, is disgusting. And the White House has spoken out on this. I would not be surprised if today the order goes down, no more horseback riding down on the southern border. Even though you can't take vehicles down there, no more horses because they see whips. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy town. And I looked at all of the pictures they're talking about and all of the news stories this morning, and it is obvious to anyone that it is the reins for the rider of the horse to control the horse, not using whips on Haitians. Oh my goodness. You know, they're always playing the race card. Always playing the race card, the Democrats. That is what they do best. And I saw that story and I was like, are you kidding me? Really? Are you kidding me? And this came up in the White House press briefing yesterday. Let me play some of this. Let me see here. Yeah, this is the White House press briefing. Jen Psaki is being asked about the Border Patrol and the whips and the Haitians.
There are photographs and reports of border agents on horseback using what appear to be whips.
Okay. Now, I would imagine these elite liberals are more familiar with horses than I am or you are, because aren't they in like polo and, you know, these riding competitions? I've ridden horses, not for a long time, but there are reports and there were pictures of there is not one picture of one whip. There's lots of reports. They're false reports. They're fake news, okay? But there are no images of Border Patrol with whips using them on Haitians. They are the reins of the horses. But anyway, back to Psaki. She's being asked by a reporter. I'm not sure if this guy's CNN or not. He might be.
There are photographs and reports of border agents on horseback using what appear to be whips on Haitian migrants. Does the administration view that as an appropriate tactic? Can you speak to that? There are
Yeah, understandably so. I have seen some of the footage. I don't have the full context. I can't imagine what context would make that appropriate.
Okay, so she hasn't seen the full footage. She has no context. But even though she hasn't seen the footage in its entirety and has no context, she's going to render a moral opinion on our brave Border Patrol agents overwhelmed at the southern border.
Haitian migrants, does the administration view that as an appropriate tactic? Can you speak to that? There are people who are upset about it.
Yeah, understandably so. I have seen some of the footage. I don't have the full context. I can't imagine what context would make that appropriate, but I don't have additional details. And certainly, I don't have additional context. April, I don't think anyone seeing that footage would think of
That's April Ryan, who never misses an opportunity to get excited to play the race card.
Additional context, April, I don't think anyone seeing that footage would think it was acceptable or appropriate.
Wow. But I thought you didn't see the full footage and you have no context, so how can you say that it's not appropriate if you have no context, Jen Psaki?
And certainly, I don't have additional context, April. I don't think anyone seeing that footage would think it was acceptable or appropriate.
I want to follow up on the question about Haitians and specifically these photos that are surfacing on Border Patrol agents seemingly using whips.
Oh my God. There she is. You know, that's April Ryan. I'm talking about the reports of the Border Patrol seemingly using whips. Now, they're not using whips, April Ryan. All these Democrats, all they see is racism and whips. I mean, they really live in a delusion they're living back. It's like they don't see what we see. They see, 1851 instead of 2021 or 1841 or something. They're not seeing what is actually going on today.
Agents seemingly using whips. I know you said that there's no context that it would be seen as inappropriate. So the question really is, why would this be happening under the Biden administration? Is this going to stop? What would
Is it going to stop? It's not happening, so it's not going to stop. And the reason it's not going to stop is because it never started. It's fake news.
Wonder sort of what are going to be the consequences if what we're seeing is what we're seeing?
I mean, Yamiche, it's all good questions. We just saw this footage. It's horrible to watch. I just have to get more information on it. Again, April, I don't have more information on it. I've also seen the video. I can't imagine what the scenario is where that would be appropriate.
Oh.
I'm certainly not suggesting that, but we've just seen the footage earlier this morning.
Okay, now, see, I think Jen Psaki, what she did was a tactic. I think what Jen Psaki did was a tactic. The White House is getting very negative press on the southern border issue. And someone in the media, and the original story could be by accident, it could have just been some clickbaity thing, but someone took a still photograph. I think it was all devious because it's a still photograph, not the video. Okay? Someone took a still photograph in the media, got that narrative. Jen Psaki knows very well what happened before she went out there. I don't believe her. Okay? And to take blame off of them for their incompetence at the southern border, which is in a complete collapse, all of a sudden we've got Haitians coming across the border from Mexico, which is so strange, so bizarre. We still haven't gotten to the bottom of where they've come from. I don't buy this Brazil story. I don't believe that. But so now what they've done is they're villainizing the tactics used by the Border Patrol, and they're making, and Psaki's very clever. She's not stupid. She might be condescending, okay? But she's not stupid. This is a carefully crafted thing. Now they've got this whole race card issue, and the discussion isn't over Biden's failure, Kamala's failure at the southern border. It's of this racial abuse being committed by the Border Patrol, this fake news story. This is very clever. This was not an accident. Biden has got nothing but negative press. He's got a treasonous chairman of the Joint Chiefs. He's left hundreds, maybe thousands of Americans behind in Afghanistan that are being held hostage. The southern border is in a situation worse than it's ever been in. With the collapse we have no southern border in this country, and it's never been this bad as it is right now, this strange thing going on. And they have too many negative press balls in the air. They can't juggle them anymore. So someone came up with this whip story, and now that'll be the whole thing, accusing our Border Patrol, which, by the way, are now Biden's Border Patrol, accusing the Border Patrol of racism using whips against black Haitians, against black people crossing the border. This is not this story it's fake news, but it didn't happen by accident. This is a carefully crafted narrative that the White House and the Democrats have come up with. It didn't take long to get the Squad and others all over television with this lie. Now, I want to tell you, the great Mike Lindell, who is dealing with more pains than you can realize. I mean, it's just, he's out of about 70 big box retailers. He's lost over $70 million in sales. His website, Frank's Speech, has been overwhelmed and hacked and sabotaged by the left. He's being sued personally. His company's being sued personally. Fox News won't run his advertisements anymore. And, of course, here on the Steve Kane Show, we stand with Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell has been a friend and a sponsor of this program for many years prior to him getting this involved in the MAGA movement. He's been with us for quite some time. And I talked to Mike Lindell's office about this last week. It is there now. And it is this is what Mike Lindell is calling this, the sale of the year, and it is on the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. Now, my wife, we already have 2 sets of these sheets. My wife buying 2 more, and this is so we'll have 4. This is an absolutely amazing deal. This is the sale of the year with the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. Buy one, get another set free when you use our promo code, Kane, at checkout, Kane. That's very important. And here's a really cool thing that you can do with this. You don't have to get, you buy one, you get one free. They don't have to be the same sheets. What I mean is this. You can get the sheets in 2 different colors with this buy one, get one free. You can get one regular and one flannel. You can get both flannel, you can get both regular, you can get them both the same color, but they don't have to be. You can get them in different colors and even different types. You can get one regular and one flannel. That's what we're doing. Oh, and by the way, they don't even have to be the same size, right? Do you have a king size or a queen size bed? You want one for your bed, but your kid has a twin, or you have a twin in your guest room? You can get one in queen and one in twin. You can get one in king and one in queen. Any combination you want. You can that second set of the 100% Giza cotton dream sheets from MyPillow does not have to be identical to the first. It can be a different size, a different color, a different style, whatever you want. You can mix and match them. I did not know that before. That is amazing. Now they're calling this the sale of the year, and this will be for a limited time because of this incredible offer. They are going to run out of some of the colors and styles eventually, and when they start to run out of different colors and styles, that's when they'll discontinue the sale. This is also a great Christmas gift. I know it's early, but these are the kind of deals at MyPillow.com that are not going to be around forever. They very well may not be here at Christmas time, so you want to take advantage now. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout, and when you buy one set of MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, get a second set free. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. We'll take a break and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to talk to you about Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting.
Steve Kane Show.
We needed a new roof, and we knew we needed a new
Steve
roof.
Kane Show. Hold on.
We just procrastinated. We saw wet spots on the ceilings. We called Tom Laporta, and he came out. He did a free roof inspection, which he does for everybody, not just us. And sure enough, we needed a new roof. We had a mold problem. It was only going to get worse. He dealt with our HOA association.
Hey, Jacqueline, I saw Jacqueline gave me a super chat in the earlier feed that I stopped. Thank you very much, Jacqueline. $50 super chat. Everyone thank Jacqueline for that. That was really awesome.
Everything is beautiful. And I have to tell you, when we get those hard South Florida rainstorms, it is such a pleasure to listen to the raindrops on the roof and not have to worry about it leaking or causing further problems. The staff was courteous. Tom answered every question. Call Tom Laporta for a free roof inspection. He does residential and commercial properties, and his cell number is 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. Make sure you tell him Lori Kane sent you.
Hey, Brian, it's Mike in Boca. You already know. I knew you would know. You're dead in the air right now.
No. Mike in Boca left me a voice message.
Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll free 1-855.
Thanks, Mike.
3782.
I got a bunch of voicemail here. All right, we're back. That's right. 53 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. Let's go. Greg 2, you're on the air. Oh, let me try it again. Oh, Greg 2, you're on the air. Go ahead, Greg. Wesley, $5 super chat. Thank you.
Listen, Brian, I'm trying to.
You believe Trump rally coming up next weekend somewhere? I've heard that, but I don't know the details.
I think you're starting to get a little like Alex Jones on occasion. Where?
What do you mean, like famous, rich, and successful? Oh, thank you very much.
Well, hopefully that's the case, but I'm talking...
Oh, that's not what you meant?
That was sarcasm, correct, Brian?
No, I have no idea what you're referencing.
I'm talking about, like, yesterday you were talking about this deportation, like all these Haitians under there, and they, by the way, they interviewed. Did you see the one interview with the lady? I saw one time. It was one of these Haitians who was speaking Portuguese. But
no, they found one woman. They found one Haitian out of 14,000, and she spoke a little Portuguese. But by the way, do you speak and understand Portuguese?
That's another.
No, do you? I'm curious. Do you speak and understand Portuguese?
I know the difference between Portuguese.
But do you know how well she was speaking it? Do you know what she was exactly saying with your own ear? Maybe they taught her a few words over the weekend.
See, this is your whole conspiracy thinking. You're thinking there's this mad conspiracy going on.
Well, all of a sudden, there's 14,000 Haitians on the southern border of Texas. Don't you think that's weird and unusual?
It's weird, but there's no.
And then they got this fake news story, and today they got this fake news story that the Border Patrol are using whips on the black Haitians. Seems that everything down there seems very fishy.
So now they come up with this thing. They get all these people over here via cruise ships. That's your thing.
I didn't say cruise ships. I said how many cruise ships would you have to fill up to transport that many people? I didn't say cruise ships. I just was.
They got there.
I don't know.
You're saying they got there because Biden and his whole administration.
Well, their clothes are in too good of shape and they're too clean to have walked from Brazil, and I don't buy that story.
Well, listen, but your theory yesterday, now you're saying, yeah, they look, your theory yesterday is that the American government shipped these people over so they could hang out underneath a bridge, and the media is looking like that. I'm like, oh my God, they're...
No, I'm not saying the U.S. government. I'm saying the Democrat Party the Democrat Party knows how they got there. So they know how they got there.
Democrat Party said, let's come up with this idea and ship 14,000 Haitians to hang out underneath the bridge with.
Well, someone did. They didn't just appear all of a sudden.
But that's your theory. That's what you're saying. You're saying.
What I'm saying is, it is an unsolved mystery that no one really seems to be getting to the bottom of.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying is, Brian, you're missing my point. You're purporting these theories of yours, saying, well, the Democrat Party came up with this whole idea to ship 14,000 Haitian immigrants to hang out in Texas. I mean, it's preposterous, to be honest with you.
Well, listen, the southern border issue has been an issue for decades. Have you ever seen black people in large numbers, Caribbean people, coming across the southern border from Mexico before now?
No, it's the first time.
Okay, no. So now why all of a sudden are there at least 14,000 black Caribbean people at the southern border from Mexico? How'd they get there?
We literally have no idea, but we.
Well, then what? How? Then trying to, and then asking questions, and then when so how is it? How am I being Alex Jones like, which means crazy conspiracy theory person, is what you mean by that? By trying to find out and asking the questions on how this strange thing happened all of a sudden.
I'm glad you understood my point I made with Alex Jones. You came up with I'm glad you're rich too. Rich, famous, whatever, wealthy. That's what you came up with. That's you and Alex Jones. Congratulations. Listen, as far as this, we don't know any answers, but you're purporting these theories out here that we shipped them or that.
Well, you agree that someone transported them there. You know, when you have 14,000 people, that's an army size. That's the size of a military move. You need food, you need water, you need bathroom facilities. You know, there's a lot of women with babies. You've got to have baby formula. You need a whole supply chain.
Listen, the lady that was interviewed said she hasn't eaten in a week. That she is scared of going back to Haiti.
A week, but she's been there a week, so she hasn't eaten since she's gotten there. Listen, these people, they're claiming that they walked from Brazil. Brazil is a long way from Texas. It's a long walk. Everyone looks clean. Their clothes look clean and new. They don't look tattered. And I don't see people that look like they're starving to death, and with the little kids and the babies and everything. Something is fishy about this situation.
I agree. We don't know, but you're purporting this one theory that the Democratic Party did. I'm saying, right, it's fishy, but we have no idea who's behind this, who did this.
Well, so what, should I not talk about it until the mystery is solved?
Like, you didn't do it till the Gabby Petito story. You said you didn't want to talk about it until...
No. I didn't want to talk about an aspect of it until there was some resolution, and that's when they found her body. That was out of decency and respect to her family.
Let me ask you this question. Let's switch to that topic quickly. I don't know if you were planning on discussing it, but why is law enforcement not being held accountable for this young... By the way, she looks like she's about 16. I watched a lot of stuff on the internet, and she...
They are being held accountable. You know, in fact, there was a lot of analysis yesterday that I saw from women pundits on television who were talking about the body cam footage, and they were saying that the way she behaved was textbook victim of domestic abuse. She was defending the abuser. All right, Greg, I got to run for a break. If you're on hold, stand by. It's 7 a.m. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. Flo Rida's the longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. We'll take our break for the top. Back with more calls after this.
Got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
It's here, the hot weather.
Good morning, everyone. If you're new and have just tuned in, make sure you subscribe. And everybody, could you like the video and share the video? I'd appreciate it. Well, you know what Trump says? Woke means you're a loser. Yeah, this is a new shirt. It's in my shirt store. I like people that don't get captured. I love it. I want to do a series of T-shirts that are Trump quotes.
Longtime Steve Kane listener, and we had the pleasure of going up and doing a whole attic package for her at her house on Wednesday of this week, and we put all new ducts in for radiant barrier and all new insulation, and she just wants to tell you how her experience was.
Good morning. I wanted to let you know that this morning, first of all, the people that came out, his students were very, very polite, and they did the work. It's a very difficult job to go up in an attic, pull out all the old ducts, come in and put in all new ducts. It's extra additional ducts to make my system work better. I'm in the construction industry. I'm an architect, so I'm familiar with what the cost should be and how much time it takes to do everything. And let me tell you, I was very impressed, and my attic looks like a spaceship up there with all new ducts. They took out the metal duct that was insulated and leaking on my ceiling, and they put in flex duct, which is what we use now in the industry. But let me tell you, what I paid for the entire package.
I'm going to put a link to this shirt. I'm going to in the chat.
The old ductwork and install new ductwork, and I got everything for less than what I thought.
Well, that's amazing. And when Scott from Cut My Kilowatts brings that radiant barrier into your attic, it pays for itself, because what it does, it cools off your ceiling, cools off your attic, keeps that hot Florida heat that's well over 100 degrees in your attic off of your air conditioning ducts, which means your air.
There you go. Yeah, I just pinned the link to this shirt.
Keep your house cool and comfortable for you, which means you have lower electrical bills. It works. Listen, guys, give Scott at Cut My Kilowatts a call. His number's listed at SteveKaneShow.com, as is his website if you miss it. His number, which rings directly to him, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is...
All right, we're getting ready to come back.
Make sure you get the right coverage. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954.
And Greg too, he sounded very frustrated.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
All right, here we go. Hour number 2.
Listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE 1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE.
I shut the filing cabinet with my foot. That's what that noise was.
Now, here's Steve Kane.
All right, hour number 2 has begun. 4 minutes after 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. If you're on hold, stand by. Only one opening on the board. Just let me recap what we're talking about. Joe Biden's got a bad press week, right? Hundreds, maybe thousands of Americans being held hostage by the Taliban in Afghanistan. our 250-year alliance that we've had with the great French people that, well, if it weren't for the French, the United States wouldn't be here today. They were our first ally, and Biden, in 5 minutes, screwed that up. 250-year alliance. Biden screwed it up. He killed, in that drone strike, 7 kids? 7 young kids, 11 people, all innocent, 7 of them children. The southern border is in collapse. He's getting nothing but negative press. So all of a sudden, the White House craft this false narrative that the Border Patrol are using whips on the Haitian migrants at the southern border. Complete lies, complete fabrication to try to get the discussion, the dialogue, the narrative on something else. Because that's, if you remember during the Afghan bugging out of Afghanistan, they were constantly trying to get a new media narrative going, and that's what this is. So I'm going to go to the phones before I play some more audio. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's K-A-N-E, and the number 1-888-465-2631. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, Brian, this is Scott from Kiev, Ukraine.
Hey, Scott, what's up?
Hey, just some food for thought. Did you know that a requirement to join NATO is that you have to be able to protect your borders? So in addition to the administration violating our own national border laws, they're also not meeting their commitment or obligation to NATO.
Oh, my goodness, you're not going to tell me that Joe Biden is breaking a law. Shock. I need to get a breaking news sounder for that one.
Something else I wanted to say was, I'm pretty well versed in land navigation, and I don't even think I can make it from Brazil all the way to Texas. There has to be a massive facilitation network there, and it has to be in place for those people to do that, and it has to be funded.
And you need supplies along the way. You would need someone that has like military experience to handle a movement of that many people, especially with young children and babies. And I see some of them crossing the river in flip-flops. Give me a break. They wore flip-flops all the way from Brazil up through Central America, up through Mexico. Something stinks about that story. I don't buy the Brazil story. They got one woman that they say was speaking Portuguese. Okay, what does that tell me? I could walk out on the street and find someone speaking Russian. Does that mean that, they're from Russia? Maybe, maybe not, but it certainly doesn't mean they came from Russia last week.
Right. Yeah, and you did pose the question, why now all of a sudden? Well, that open invitation. Why not now?
Well, what would be your guess as to how the Haitians got to Texas?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there has to be a facilitation network, and what I meant by that was you have to have a supply chain, you have to have movement. They didn't walk that entire way. There's parts of that there's parts of the terrain.
We're in hurricane season, right? We're in hurricane season here in South Florida. So I stock up on hurricane supplies, like bottled water. You walk in the front door of my house, and there's like 8 cases right there of bottled water. How long, 6 cases of bottled water. How many cases of bottled water would you need for a movement of 14,000 people in the heat of the summer across arid terrain, a lot of it desert?
They're not, that's what I'm saying, they're not carrying on with them. There's a facilitation network along the way with supply points and movement.
Yeah, and who pays for that, Who's paying for that? So someone with ties to the Democrats is paying for that.
So, one of the ways that they used to disrupt the terrorist networks with the threat financing was follow the money. That's one of the easiest ways to get to who's, taking care of everything.
But whoever is paying for the supplies along the route, that whatever way they got there, ship, land, whatever, it is someone with ties to the Democrats.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, who else has to gain on this? This certainly isn't a Republican operation.
No, and I just don't understand why so many people are against protecting the border. Conservatives are all for legal immigration. They say, oh, the wall didn't work. Well, the wall's not there, so 14,000 people literally just walked across the border.
Yeah.
I lived in Germany when all the Schengen agreements were signed and they dropped the borders. And that's one of the big problems that Interpol headquarters had returning foreign fighters coming back at us.
Well, look, they, like the Emmys the other night, all those celebrities in there. What do you think would have happened if someone tried to go in there and have a seat that didn't have a ticket, that wasn't a celebrity? What do you think would happen?
Yeah, exactly.
So they have a border at the Emmys. You can't get it. They won't let you in unless you have proper documentation. If you do not have proper documentation, you can't get into the Emmys.
Well, what's scary about what's coming across the southern borders, they don't have the ability to vet all these people. You don't know who's coming in, and then they're just getting into our country and going everywhere. And that's like what I said. That's where the Interpol was tracking returning foreign fighters. And when Europe, the Schengen zone, all dropped their borders, they completely lost track of those people, because once they got back within the European Union, the Schengen zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, take care, Scott. Take care. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian.
Hey, Andrea. What's up?
Well, first of all, I agree with you. These people are being imported. They're being imported. Whether it's by boat or by plane, they're being imported. And you know what? Here's the simple fact of it. Biden doesn't care. They don't care. But not one single American should be following any type of these lockdown, passport, COVID protocols when they're flooding the southern border with illegals and Afghani. Now they're going to import what? Another 195,000?
Yeah.
Afghanis?
Yeah. So have you seen this? Have you seen this coverage, this fake news accusing the Border Patrol of using whips on these black Haitians at the border?
Yes, absolutely. I saw the picture of that last night.
Yeah, the still picture.
First and foremost, of course they're doing that, right? Because somebody has to be the villain, and who Democrats hate more than American citizens? It's law enforcement and ICE.
Yeah.
Flat out, when Biden took office, that they were going to abolish ICE.
Yeah.
Why? Because Democrats don't suffer the repercussions of their bad policies. But you know who's suffering now? The taxpaying citizens of Del Rio, who no longer have access because...
Well, yeah, I don't want to get sidelined on this. See, what's going on here, this whip story is a very important story. This is, and it's everybody, like you said, Andrea, you saw the still photograph. I was watching the live video yesterday. The reason you're seeing a still photograph is because someone in the fake news media, somebody in the Democrat Party, someone in the White House noticed that with a still photograph, it looked like a whip. And they have a couple of photos with, which really you can't even see the distance in the photograph, is misleading between the Haitian and the Border Patrol guy on horseback. But they have a guy that's a Haitian kind of fallen to the side. They got the Border Patrol guy with his horse galloping with the reins, and in a still photograph, if they tell you it's a whip, you might perceive it as so. And they've crafted a very careful lie, a very careful propaganda tool to make them, the Haitians, the victims here, and to try to get a dialogue on race away from the real problems that Biden's facing, that he killed 7 kids in Afghanistan, that the borders collapsed, that he's destroyed our 250-year alliance with the French people. And the list goes on. This was a very well-crafted propaganda diversion from the White House, I believe.
Well, I agree with you, but here's the thing. Number one, who took that photo? But number two, if they were so worried about the Haitians suffering, they wouldn't have them living in God only knows what, underneath the bridge, women giving birth.
Well, I got to tell you, under that bridge, the conditions are better under that bridge than they are in Haiti many times. I mean, the Clintons just totally raped and pillaged Haiti after the earthquake in 2010. And it's, so the under the bridge is like Club Med. It's like the Sandals Resort for a lot of the Haitians compared to Haiti.
Well, that might be, and that is an absolute shame. But you know what? Biden hasn't come back from his vacation. Kamala Harris is very busy flipping coins at football games. It shows you exactly where they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's always the American people that are going to suffer because of this, because that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Jump to Greg Q for a second. So Greg Q, and I've listened to him numerous times, and he feels like he's morally superior to everyone.
Oh, yes.
He's superior to everyone. However, Greg Q has a problem understanding context. And the context of this situation is the southern border is being invaded. These people are causing a humanitarian crisis. You have American Border Patrol that are suffering post-traumatic.
Well, Greg too has a lot of problems, and one of them is he's not able to think logically and things. He can't see. He's very one-dimensional in his thinking. I got to run, Andrea, but I appreciate the call. Take care. Always a good call from Andrea. Let me take one more call before we break. A lot of people have been on hold. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Conservative.
Oh, yes, Doug. Ugh.
I watched the
Out of
video.
all the callers,
I didn't see
him.
any whip. I don't
He's
know.
got nothing to say,
People
this
come
guy.
up with the biggest lies. That's what they do.
I'm going to take one more call after him because he's got nothing to say.
You're 100% right. How is he getting here and looking so nice and clean and clean shaven, most of the men, if they're walking from?
Yeah, clean shaven. I'm not clean shaven today. I haven't shaved for a few. Everyone's clean shaven. You're right.
I mean, they're shaving. Their clothes look nice. You don't see any filth on them. We're being.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, Doug, take care. Take care. Let me squeeze one more in before we break. Good morning. You're on the radio.
I wanted this to be a little longer, but I guess.
Oh, I'm sorry, Richie.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air, Richie.
Yeah. I want to correct you real quickly.
Oh, here we go.
And then I want to get into
Going to correct me.
The French deserve what they got because that's the first thing he did right, Biden.
Oh, okay, whatever. But let's talk about the whips with the Border Patrol.
You know what he said? The nuclear submarines are...
Now, I don't want to talk about the nuclear submarines. I don't want to talk about the nuclear submarines. We're talking about something else, Richie. So you get on that or I'm going to move on. I got to take a break anyway, so...
The border, okay? The border is disgusting. You can see it. It was 106 degrees there yesterday. There are miscarriages. There are babies being born. It's a disgusting thing. And that whip thing is a joke because if you've ever been to a racetrack, a jockey has a little whip that he can get the horse to. These
guys didn't have the little whip thing. The photographs that they're calling whips are the reins of the horses that I've seen. There is one, I saw one Border Patrol guy that has that little thing you're talking about, but the photographs that they're talking about are the reins. Regardless, it was a carefully crafted lie by the liberals.
Yeah, of course, because of the slavery and what they did to blacks in slavery. These people are so devious, disgusting. And by the way, every American ought to look at this. $50,000 per person per year that's sitting underneath that, like I-95 over there, that bridge. 50 grand. That's what it's going to cost us. Each one of them, not counting what's gotten through here.
Oh, and don't forget lifetime room, board, food, college education for the kids, public education for the kids. I mean, where do you think where's a more luxurious place to live? Haiti or under the bridge in Texas? Which is safer and more luxurious?
What's up?
Oh, the under the bridge. You're in America.
Yeah, you have to look at these people and you have to say they're geniuses. They came from Brazil, 14,000 in a group.
Yeah, and not one bit of dirt on any of them. I mean, come on, I don't buy that.
You've been on cruises. How many people when a cruise ship leaves this port? There's usually people stranded.
Exactly.
You can't get 1,000 people in a line, and not. This is so organized and so paid for, and this is invasion of the United States of America. And the president and Kamala Harris is going to Saturday football games. This is the biggest disgrace I've ever seen in my life. And by the way, You know, I know that you're not going to want to hear this one, but Laura Logan says that we're in bed with the Taliban and Al Qaeda. We're actually scheming with them to kill the people in the.
Yeah. Well, of course we are. We gave them a whole country. So obviously we're, All right, Richie, got to run. Thanks for the call. It's 20 minutes after 7. We'll take a break. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be right back.
This is Lori Kane, and I want to tell you about Brighton Dental Care. I just had a lot of work done, and I avoided going to the dentist for a lot of years because I was afraid of the cost. But I went to Brighton Dental for my free consultation, which, by the way, he offers to all Steve Kane listeners. I had 2 cavities, I needed a crown on top and a crown on the bottom. If I were a horse, they would have put me down. So I scheduled my appointment for the next Saturday because Brighton Dental has Saturday appointments available, and they saved me a ton of money. And I will be a patient for life. Don't let cost stop you from taking care of your teeth. Brighton Dental gives Steve Kane listeners incredible discounts on all dental procedures, just like they gave me. Prices are so reasonable, you don't have to worry about the cost. So call Brighton Dental today at 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. You can visit them at brightondental.com and tell them Lori Kane sent you.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalwood Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beat. Steve Kane's Tires for his...
Good morning, everyone. If you are new, make sure you subscribe, and everybody in there, like the video, share the video.
That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, we are back. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. It's 23 minutes after the hour, Tuesday, September 21st. George Holliday has died. Do you guys know who George Holliday is? George Holliday. He's the white guy that filmed the Rodney King beating. And he died. And this is I was just reading this in the New York Post. George Holliday, the LA plumber who shot grainy video of 4 white police officers beating black motorist Rodney King in 1991, has died, they say, of complications of COVID. Holliday, age 61, died Sunday at a Los Angeles hospital where he had been for about a month. Holliday was awakened by a traffic stop outside his San Fernando Valley home on the night of March 3rd, 1991. He went outside to film it with his new video camera, catching the LA officers punching, kicking, and using a stun gun on King even after he was on the ground. A year later, Holliday's out-of-focus footage, about 9 minutes worth, was a key piece of evidence at the 4 officers' trial. He sold that camera. It says here, this is interesting, Holliday put the Sony camcorder he used to record the Rodney King beating up for auction last July. Bidding started at $225,000. It's unclear if it ever sold. He told the New York Times last year that he was still working as a plumber and never profited from the video. Let's see here. It doesn't say too much. I don't want to get sidetracked on this too much, but, Was that guy a good guy or a bad guy? You know, he captured that very famous footage. We've all seen the Rodney King footage that led to how many people died because of that footage? How many millions of dollars, maybe even in the billions with the B dollars, were destroyed because of that video that he took? And, you know, the thing about it is, because, of course, it was out of context. It was a video out of context. Rodney King had led them on a high-speed chase for quite some time. He was a threat to the officers, was doing very strange things to the lady officers, if memory serves. So I'm not so sure that he was a good guy. You know, the problem when people film things happens more common now because everyone's got, you know, high-definition camera on their cell phone. So it was a little unique back then with the camcorder. First time someone with a camcorder had caught something like that. It's always out of context because people don't start filming until after the spark that caused something to happen. They never catch the spark. So this Holiday guy, I feel bad that he's passed and everything. Too young to die, no doubt about that. But to portray this guy as some heroic historical figure in the civil rights movement as he's being portrayed in the media stories I've seen about it today is not the case, in my opinion. All right, so let's get back to this. Let me get to some and your calls on anything we've brought up and discussed so far on the program are certainly welcome. So let me get back to this story because I've got some audio I want to play that involves this. Okay, so just let me recap what I was talking about earlier. I was watching yesterday the video of the southern border with the Border Patrol on horseback, and it was really amazing that they, that was like, wow, these guys, they're in some very strange and rough terrain. There's no roads. They're really under attack because what they're doing is they're running this operation. So many people are running across the border. It's almost impossible for them to stop them. So they figure they're not all going to get through, but some of them will. And once you set foot on U.S. soil, you've got, U.S. constitutional rights. So they're running. And when I saw the Border Patrol on the horses, I thought this was really some quick, smart thinking. And it was pretty interesting. And I actually watched it for quite a bit yesterday. I wake up this morning, I see these stories that are really, I was like, this can't be true. I know it's not true, but I can't believe they're going with this direction. And what they're accusing the Border Patrol of using whips against the Haitians. And of course, not only is this not true, it's a race card play because the Haitians are obviously black, and you got white Border Patrol guys using whips on black people, and it brings back images of slavery. Now, if you look at the video, they're not showing you video in the stories. They're showing still photographs that are very misleading. What they're claiming to be a whip is the rein of the horses, and the horses galloping up the hill, and the Border Patrol rider is on top, and the horses galloping, the Haitians running away, and the rein is bouncing a little bit, and they're claiming that to be a whip. And I'm here to tell you, this, while it is fake news, this did not happen by accident. Biden has been getting overwhelmed with bad news. Afghanistan, killing the 7 kids, 11 innocents, 7 of them children in Afghanistan. The border collapse. There's been other issues. We know that, everything that's been going on. He is up against it. Bad story after bad story. And they came out with this story. They came out with this fake story to play the race card, like the Rodney King and all that stuff race card. They came out to play the race card as a distraction to get the heat off of Biden, get the heat off the White House, and start blaming the Border Patrol. And I've got a few pieces of audio. The first one I played in the first hour, but I want to play it again. Jen Psaki was asked about this in the White House press briefing yesterday. This is, I can't tell who the reporter is. He might be from CNN, but they all wear masks in there. So if I don't know them well, I can't tell them who they are just by their eyes and hair. But this is a reporter talking with Psaki about the whips, and you'll also hear April Ryan in this, who's a race-baiting reporter.
There are photographs and reports of border agents.
Steve Kane Show.
Using what appear to be whips
on
Haitian migrants. Does the administration view that as an appropriate tactic? Can you speak to that? There are people who are upset about it.
Yeah, understandably so. I have seen some of the footage. I don't have the full context.
Okay, now this is my favorite part. She says she doesn't have the full context, but now she's going to render judgment and opinion and everything else on the whole story.
Can't imagine what context would make that appropriate, but I don't have additional details. And certainly, I don't have additional context. April, I don't think anyone seeing that footage would think it was acceptable or appropriate.
What, to ride a horse? Because that's what they're doing. I thought you didn't have a context. So if she has no context, how can she say it's not appropriate? See, she saw the video. Jen Psaki knows very well there were no whips. She knows very well that was the reins of the horses. This is an attempt to try to get the dialogue onto something else other than what they're doing.
I want to follow up on the question about Haitians and specifically these photos that are surfacing on Border Patrol agents seemingly using whips. I know you said that there's no context that it would be seen as inappropriate, so the question really is, why would this be happening under the Biden administration? Is this going to stop? What would I wonder sort of what are going to be the consequences if what we're seeing is what we're seeing?
I mean, Yamiche, it's all good questions. We just saw this footage. It's horrible to watch. I just have to get more information on it. Again, April, I don't have more information on it. I've also seen the video. I can't imagine what the scenario is where that would be appropriate.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought you had no context. If you have no context and you haven't seen it, how do you know it's inappropriate what you're seeing if you don't know what you're seeing?
I've seen the video. I can't imagine what the scenario is where that would be appropriate. I'm certainly not suggesting that, but we've just seen the footage earlier this morning.
Okay, so, she hasn't seen enough of it. She has no context, but she's rendering judgment. It's inappropriate. Now they got a new dialogue going. They got the race card going. Good morning. You're on the radio.
The big bad Trumper said he was going to build a wall and Mexico was going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Just an example of his big, silly failure and lies. And, people like you want to talk about whips and make everything Democrat, liberal, Republican, slavery. You're an idiot, Brian.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Well, for an idiot, I'm doing pretty well, I must say. Maybe I'm a role model to other idiots. Oh, he hung up. He hung up. It's too bad. I had a question or two that I was going to ask. Listen, let's take our break. When we come back, Fredo commented on the whip story. Oh, yeah, Fredo. He's very upset. Very upset. We'll get to that when we get back. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. Our number toll-free 1-888-GO-KANE-1. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is quickly approaching. Make sure you get the right coverage. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
It's here, the hot weather. It's in the mid-90s in the middle of the day, and that's what the actual temperature is. The heat index, much higher than that. That means your air conditioner is going to work harder and harder, driving up your electric bill. And on the line, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, who's going to save you big, big money on your electric bill. Tell them how you're going to do it, Scott.
Hey, Brian. Well, we do it with the radiant barrier installation and making sure that none of your air conditioning ducts are leaking into your attic. But I have Rebecca on the line with me, who's a longtime Steve Kane listener, and we had the pleasure of going up and doing a whole attic package for her at her house on Wednesday of this week, and we put all new ducts in for her, radiant barrier, and all new insulation. And she just wants to tell you how her experience was.
Good morning. I wanted to let you know that this morning, first of all, the people that came out, his crew, were very, very polite. And they did the work. It's a very difficult job to go up in an attic, pull out all the old ducts, come in and put in all new ducts, extra additional ducts to make my system work better. I'm in the construction industry. I'm an architect, so I'm familiar with what the cost should be and how much time it takes to do everything. And let me tell you, I was very impressed, and my attic looks like a spaceship up there with all new duct. They took out the metal duct that was insulated and leaking on my ceiling, and they put in flex duct, which is what we use now in the industry. But let me tell you, what I paid for the entire package should have cost just to remove the old ductwork and install new ductwork. And I got everything for less than what I thought it was.
Well, that's amazing. And when Scott from Cut My Kilowatts brings that radiant barrier into your attic, it pays for itself because what it does, it cools off your ceiling, cools off your attic, keeps that hot Florida heat that's well over 100 degrees in your attic off of your air conditioning ducts, which means your air conditioner works less to keep your house cool and comfortable for you, which means you have lower electrical bills. It works. Listen, guys, give Scott at Cut My Kilowatts a call. His number's listed at SteveKaneShow.com, as is his website if you miss it. His number, which rings directly to him, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All righty. We're back 35 minutes after the hour. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Okay, so let me get back to the audio sound bites. This is Fredo last night on CNN. He's very upset about the Border Patrol using whips on Haitians and what optics that is, even though they're not using whips, that those are the reins of the horses and they're not hitting people with them. But don't let that stop them. So here we go. Here's Fredo. Chris Cuomo, brother, just run out of the governor's mansion of New York, passing moral judgment on our overwhelmed, overworked, and very brave Border Patrol agents on the southern border.
We really are in the throes in this country of figuring out who we are and what we're about. And
now keep in mind, this is the brother of the man. This is the brother of the man who sent thousands of senior citizens to nursing homes to their death in New York last year. And we're in it. This is a time, we've got to do who we are and all of this.
We really are in the throes in this country of figuring out who we are and what we're about. And I was taken aback by a single image.
Oh. What, the image of the bodies coming out of New York nursing homes that Janice Dean is so often talking about? All those images didn't bother you, Chris Cuomo?
That should make you pay attention to a problem. This one. There's a lot here. Yeah, as an image, to me it does smack of a bygone era of slavery, aided by reports of people being beaten, whether with a riding crop or the reins, most likely. You may be drawn to the desperation of the man trying to escape. Others, in the desperation of keeping our borders safe, of what I believe the former president tried to depict as a brown menace at our border. But this is more than just a picture, it's a reality. People crossing, clinging to food. That's what they're holding over their heads. It's food, not bags of drugs.
Really? How does he know that? How does he know what's in those bags? Has he been down there to inspect those bags? He doesn't know what's in those bags. Oh my goodness. You know, and the continually showing of the still photographs. And here's one last one. This is a bit of a montage. This is the network nightly news from the different networks and their coverage of the Border Patrol whip story, the lie.
There are alarming images from the Texas border tonight. The White House pressed on them today, calling the images horrific.
Okay, horrific. Even though they had not seen the video, they have no context. They've only seen a little clip. They have no context, but it's horrific. Well, you just put context in it.
There are alarming images from the Texas border tonight. The White House pressed on them today, calling the images horrific. What were some Border Patrol agents doing? And all of this comes as the Biden administration now puts migrants on flights back home to Haiti. Kenneth Moten from Texas.
Tonight, this new video of Haitian migrants at the southern border, the chaos and despair. Images showing Border Patrol agents on horseback as they try to stop them from crossing the river into the U.S. The White House seeking answers.
I've also seen the video. I can't imagine what the scenario is where that would be appropriate.
And see, they cut out the part where she said she couldn't put it in context, so she hadn't seen enough of it. But then they let her put a context to it.
It's obviously horrific, the footage.
Tonight, a sea of humanity and desperation. Texas, Mexico.
They're a bunch of poets. Tonight, a sea of... Oh, my goodness.
Answers. I've also seen the video. I can't imagine what the scenario is where that would be appropriate. It's obviously horrific, the footage.
Tonight, a sea of humanity and desperation along the Texas-Mexico border that has overwhelmed the U.S. Border Patrol. A number of agents on horseback can be seen trying to keep migrants from crossing into the country, while threatening them with what appears to be horses' reins or ropes, including families like this one holding a baby when the agents get dangerously close. As they try to pass, the agent said this to them.
Hey, you use your women? This is why your country... You use your women.
Yeah, now this clip here is getting a lot of circulation where you can hear that's a Border Patrol guy on horseback saying you use your women to do this. It's interesting. I thought they were from Brazil. Is that Border Patrol agent speaking Portuguese? Sounds like he's speaking English, and the guy very well understands every word he's saying, but... And that's not his native tongue because Creole is the native tongue of Haiti. But anyway, you know, what they're doing at the southern border... They say, this is what the White House claims, that they're turning back single men. So what they're doing is they're using the women to get through. A lot of these women, they get through, they go back. Then they come back with a man, then they go back and come back with another man. They keep going back because if you're with kids or with a woman, they let you under the bridge. And what this Border Patrol agent is saying here is out of respect for women, not some nasty comment about women.
Close. As they tried to pass, the agent said this to them.
Hey, you use your women? This is why your country... You use your women.
A massive show of force by Texas troopers creating a barricade along the border to stop the thousands of mainly Haitian migrants from arriving in Del Rio, Texas.
Okay, now this is an interesting thing. They showed the video in this, and it was nighttime footage. And what the Texas, I guess, what are they? Rangers, state police, sheriffs, whoever they are, they have their patrol cars lined up with the sirens on the border, going pretty far. I don't know how long the cars are, but it's a long wall of police cars with sirens on them. And have you ever been driving down the road and you see a DUI checkpoint and there's sirens up ahead? What do? I just keep on going. But when you see these DUI checkpoints and you see police sirens up ahead, you'll see people, all of a sudden you'll see a bunch of people making U-turns. Why are they making U-turns? Well, they're drunk, they got drugs in the car, something. They don't want to get stopped by the police, so they make a U-turn. Me, I keep on going because I'm not drunk, I got nothing in my car, you know, got my insurance, got my registration and everything, and I know they'll just say, all right, head on home. If I have just walked a couple thousand miles, which is this narrative they're trying to sell us, through a desert, and I see up ahead of me a wall of police sirens, I know that's where I want to go because I'm going to get food, water, and medical attention for me and my family. This is going to be great. That's where I want to go. The only people that aren't going towards the sirens are the people that they're doing something that the police may have a problem with.
A massive show of force by Texas troopers creating a barricade along the border to stop the thousands of mainly Haitian migrants from arriving in Del Rio, Texas.
Morgan, there's been a lot of attention today and some of those images of agents on horseback doing
horseback. He can't. Even Lester Holt's having a hard time getting out. Horseback.
Del Rio, Texas.
Morgan, there's been a lot of attention today and some of those images of agents on horseback doing crowd control, and there's questions over what they were holding. What can you tell us?
It's the reins, Lester Holt. The reins. That's how you ride a horse.
Yeah, Lester, White House spokesperson Jen Psaki called those images horrific to watch. But
now notice they left out too. That's why I played the Psaki clip first. Right? This NBC Nightly News reporter, he left out the part where she says, "I've not seen enough of it to have context." They left that part out where she hasn't seen enough to have an educated opinion in context. They left that out, and they're letting Jen Psaki. Notice how Jen Psaki said, "I've not seen enough to have the context of the photographs or the video." But they're letting Jen Psaki frame the whole description of what happened, even though she began by saying, I've not seen enough to have proper context.
Yeah, Lester, White House spokesperson Jen Psaki called those images horrific to watch, but said she needed more information before officially making a comment. Meanwhile, Secretary Mayorkas here in Del Rio says it appears those were the riders' reins for the horse.
Yes.
Promised to investigate. We're told that agents are not equipped with whips and ride horseback for their own protection.
Yeah, there you go. They're not equipped with whips. And even though we find out they're not equipped with whips, we'll still continue the narrative that they're using whips on black Haitians. And I know some of the stories, you say, why are you saying black Haitians? Or aren't all Haitians black? Mostly. But the news stories are saying black Haitians in case somebody reads them and doesn't know that Haitians are black, or mostly black. I'm sure there's some white Haitians. I never met one. I knew a white Jamaican guy once, but never met a white Haitian. But regardless, when I saw these stories, it's like saying Jewish rabbi. Black Haitians like saying Jewish rabbi, Catholic priest. Is there another kind of rabbi other than a Jewish one? I don't know. You know, Haitians, same thing, but they got to make sure they say black Haitians just so you get the slavery race card whip thing in your mind in case you don't know. All right, listen, we're going to take a break, our last break of the second hour. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be joined by Steve Kane after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-604-4602 for a free home inspection and estimate. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients. I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Sole Authority. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware, but as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name-brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Sole Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoleauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, we're back 48 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Okay, so they had what's being described as Fed Fest over the weekend. Fed Fest. That's the J6, the January 6th rally event that fizzled Saturday in Washington, D.C. in front of the Capitol. And you know, it's a lot of people are saying, well, how did they let this this boyfriend of the van girl go away? Because the FBI was at the house yesterday, getting all the evidence and everything, and maybe the FBI was tied up being at the J6 event. But this whole thing fizzled out in the media too. The left-wing media, MSNBC, mostly CNN, had been planning for 2 weeks for this J6 event. It happened, and there were, a dozen people that they say were MAGA. I don't even know if they were. The Capitol Police were wearing riot gear. There were a lot of media there, a lot of fences and walls that the Capitol Police put up, And then there were a bunch of undercover FBI agents. In fact, the Capitol Police went to arrest a man, and it turned out he was an undercover federal agent. So, they tried to have a redo of January 6th is what they did. And, the event in January 6th was, Trump was speaking. There was a planned event already happening in the Washington Mall. And then they had this event that happened at the same time, and what we saw on Saturday, and I'm not alone in thinking this, many people believe we saw a replay of what happened January 6th, right? We saw the government try to set something up, and they failed at doing it. They failed because we didn't have a regular event that was already scheduled, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know why it failed. But I haven't seen too many people in the media. I've seen it online, but I'm talking about on television, really focus in on that. It's being called FedFest was like a hashtag I saw over the weekend about the event. And it was what they did in January. And I think people that are following it know. Now, MSNBC yesterday, though, MSNBC, they had one of their liberal pundits on who... Ferdinand Amandi used to be on the radio down here in Miami, and they were talking about threats being made against members of Congress by, of course, they're trying to create this falsehood that MAGA is a terrorist organization, which is absurd. And this is a discussion they had about our great president Donald Trump yesterday on MSNBC.
Robert Costa and Bob Woodward were describing was
Steve Kane Show.
Milley in a hostage situation
Steve Kane Show,
where American democracy, in fact, the very nature of the American Republic, was facing a moment of a potential domestic terrorist takeover.
Okay, now before I play it, this is MSNBC. This is Ferdinand Amandi, used to be on WIOD in Miami. This is a very interesting thing what they're doing. See, this is this was just yesterday. Here they are again defending General Milley's actions. Every time they defend General Milley, it is a confirmation that he did what Woodward's book says. Woodward's book comes out today. Milley's going to testify maybe next week in front of Congress, and this is all going to be out there. And these liberals, they don't realize when they defend the action, they're confirming that Milley did it.
Costa and Bob Woodward were describing was General Milley in a hostage situation where American democracy, in fact, the very nature of the American Republic, was facing a moment of a potential domestic terrorist takeover. And the actions that I think General Milley were taking were trying to deal with a terrorist takeover. And I think, frankly, until we start speaking in the language of what is in front of us, however alarming it may sound like, however dangerous it may be, I don't think we're doing justice to the point. And I think that means calling Donald Trump what he is. He's a terrorist.
Oh.
Trump is a terrorist. This radicalized fringe element of what is today's GOP, again, uses violent threats against family, in some cases, literal violence. And when that happens, I think one has to recognize the impact on the polling is clear, but the impact on the Republic is even clearer.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Donald Trump's a terrorist. Yeah, right. Then why did the FBI clear him in the January 6th event? Why has no one been charged with terrorism, insurrection, treason, or anything else? The only insurrection we know of that he just confirmed, Armand DeSante here, is Milley. His conspiracy with Nancy Pelosi and whoever else he conspired to, that's the insurrection. Not President Trump, not January 6th. And what happened this past Saturday at FedFest, that's what happened in January, too. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Right, at best.
Did I interrupt a conversation? Hello, you're on the air. Oh, that's the kiss of death. That's the worst thing you can say when you call a radio show. That's the kiss of death.
Known that already. And I've been listening to you long enough that I should have known that already. But I did see the video. They were not whips. They were not hitting people. They were like those whips that they use on the horses, like for jockeying and horse races. I didn't see a single.
Well, so there was one guy with a riding crop, but the photographs are most of them the reins of the horses. One guy had a riding crop, no whips, and they certainly didn't strike anybody with anything.
No. So they're going to go ahead and take this
video to try to create something that's not really.
Well, it was confirmed by the Pentagon that Biden gave an order that killed 7 kids over the weekend. So that narrative is not doing them well. So they had to change the media narrative. So here's what they're doing. It's the whip story is to change the narrative from Biden killing those 7 kids in Afghanistan because he had to look like he was tough and with it and order a drone strike.
All right, that makes perfect sense to me. But you know what? I'm on my way to work.
Okay, well, take care. Well, if he's on his way to work, he's a Republican. Oh, man. All right, our number is toll-free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631, 1-888-465-2631. So, this is Ducey. I can tell who Ducey is with the mask on at the White House press briefing because of his hair. And he asked good questions, But Steve Ducey, he had a very good question of Psaki yesterday. I'll play the audio here in a moment. But what he had asked Jen Psaki about was they're not vaccinating the Haitians that are coming across the border. And Psaki tries to say that they have a policy to vaccinate people that are coming into the country. And then Ducey, who was very quick, pointed out the lie. This is pretty interesting stuff. Listen to this. This is Ducey yesterday in the press briefing with Jen Psaki, a woman whose first and last names are the same name as 2 different types of hard liquor. Psaki and, of course, Jen.
Going on at the border? Is somebody asking the foreign nationals who are walking into Del Rio, Texas and setting up camps on this side of the border for proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test?
Well, first of all, I can readdress for you or re-talk you through what steps we take.
That is the policy for people who fly into the country.
Oh, see, he got her so good. He is sharp, this Ducey. Okay, in case you couldn't hear, she was getting ready to read the policy that they have so far as vaccination and testing for people entering the country. And Ducey was very quick to say, no. That policy is for people who fly into the country, not walk in. And he really caught her off guard with that one. She was not expecting him to be so quick. She thought she could come in with her misdirection and lie.
I can readdress for you or re-talk you through what steps we
That
take.
is the policy for people who fly into the country. So if somebody walks into the country, right across the river, does somebody ask them to see their vaccination card?
Well, let me explain to you again, Peter, how
let me explain to you.
Individuals come across the border, and they are both assessed for whether they have any symptoms. If they have symptoms, the intention is for them to be quarantined. That is our process. They're not intending to stay here for a lengthy period of time. I don't think it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. These are individuals, as we've noted and as we've been discussed. We are expelling individuals based on Title 42 specifically because of COVID, because we want to prevent a scenario where large numbers of people are gathering, posing a threat to
Now she's back to the lie.
migrants themselves. So those are the policies that we put in place, in large part because, again, the CDC continues to recommend Title 42 be in place given we're facing a global pandemic.
Okay, so she went back and read the policy that's just about people who fly in, not walk across. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I wonder why there's an increase in Texas. I wonder why. Is it just coincidental that they're not testing or requiring vaccinations of the tens of thousands that are walking into Texas each and every day at our southern border? Maybe that's got something to do with it. But she went right back to the lie. It's so good that we can catch these things raw. Now, I got to tell you, Mike Lindell is having right now what he is calling the sale of the year. The sale of the year. And it's on the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. I have 2 sets. I sleep on them every night. They're the most comfortable, best sheets that you will ever own. And you know one thing I really like about the MyPillow Giza Cotton Dream Sheets is they fit perfectly on the mattress. In particular, the bottom sheet, that has the elastic in it. And you guys know how this goes. With regular sheets, you make the bed, you can get 2, maybe 3 corners on. Maybe the third one gets a little tough. But that 4th corner, you never can get it on right, and you're pulling with all your strength. If your fingers slipped, you'd be up against the wall or the dresser behind you or something. You know how hard it is. You got to be like He-Man or something to make a bed with traditional sheets, and you can never get all 4 corners. With the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, even though mine have been washed countless times, each and every time. I can make the bed with just 2 fingers. I can pull all 4 corners over, boom, 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 and it fits perfect. Even with my mattress topper from MyPillow on the bed, before I had the mattress topper and after. It's absolutely amazing. These sheets are perfect. Now, here's the sale of the year. This is a time you might want to do some Christmas shopping early. My wife is ordering 2 more sets. When you use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, buy one, get 1 set completely free. And here's the cool thing about this. This is the sale of the year, and here's why. Now, this sale's not going to last forever because they're going to start to run out of sizes and colors, and then when they do, they're going to end the sale. But right now, it's buy one, get 1 set free when you use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. Now, here's the cool thing that I did not know about until yesterday. You don't have to have both sets to be the same. You can get you get 2 sets. One, you buy one, you get 1 free. The second set can be another color. The second set can be another kind, right? They have regular and flannel sheets, right? So you can get 2 flannel, 2 regular. You can get 1 flannel, 1 regular. You can get them in different colors if you like. You can even get them in different sizes. You can get 1 in queen and 1 in king. You can, if you have a queen size bed like I do, you can get a queen set and get the second one. You can get a twin set for your guest room or for your kid if they have a twin bed, or you can get a king and it doesn't matter. You can mix it up any way you want. That second sheet free, get it any size, any color, even a different kind, if that's what you want to do. That's amazing, and that's what makes this the sale of the year. And this sale will not last, I'm here to tell you, because it's such a great deal. They're going to start running out of sizes and colors, and it's not going to take long to do that. So go right now to mypillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, and take advantage of this incredible deal. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, we'll be back with the third and final hour and Steve Kane right after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is quickly approaching. Call I Will Advisors for a free review of your existing healthcare policy and learn about all of your Medicare options. Call Debbie at 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and slate tile systems. Call us at 954-6...
Yeah, any special you see at mypillow.com, you can use our promo code for, K-A-N-E, no matter what the special is, including a Mike Lindell's store. And, you guys that aren't in South Florida, you can't use a lot of our, local sponsors. Obviously, a great way to support the program is buy something from MyPillow using our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And, all these MyPillow products that I talk about, I buy them all. They don't give them to me. The pillows, the sheets, the mattress topper, my dog beds. What else do I have? My MyPillow slippers, my MyPillow towels. I bought all of that, and it's a good deal with that promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Good deal.
Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Yeah, but you won't get the deals, Debbie, that you get with us. Yeah, you can use that promo code KANE on any special you see there, even in Mike Lindell's store. Yeah, the robes. Yep, the robes. I bought the robes. Absolutely. K-A-N-E. Yeah. Yeah, the robes 40% off with the promo code KANE. I bought the robes. Yeah, so it's a great way for you guys to support the program is using that promo code. And if you're in the UK or Canada, you can use our promo code Kane there too.
1-888-GO-KANE. 1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE. 1. And now, here's Steve Kane.
All right, third and final hour has begun. I'm Brian. Steve joining us. Hey, Steve.
I am here.
Oh man, you sound great. Sound wide awake and great. Something. Of what? No, before my time. Yeah, I don't even know. I didn't even quite hear. Appa what? What is that? Okay. Well, it's a good one. We'll bring it back. Oh man, so there's been a lot of craziness going on in the last 24 hours.
Just more than you can shake a stick at.
You know, this story with the Border Patrol and the whips, this fake story, that one really pisses me off. Not just because they're attacking the Border Patrol, but it's such an obvious crafted narrative to try to get this story about Biden killing those 7 kids in Afghanistan in that drone strike.
There are so many negative cycles going in with it. If you visualize a juggler, with 3 or 4 balls in the air, and they're juggling so many negative stories, there's no room for a good story.
They don't have any good stories. No.
I've never seen anything like this, really. When you stop and you think about it, they name a good story. There's no good...
Well, this whip thing started last night, and it's already fizzled out because everyone's saying, come on, those are the reins of the horses. So that's already, that attempt to... And then I got some good news for us, bad news for Democrats. This is in Newsmax. For the first time ever, this is for the first time ever in history, here in the state of Florida, registered Republicans will outnumber registered Democrats for the very first time ever. Yes. In fact, that Politico is saying that Florida may lose its battleground state status and be put in the red column permanently and no longer be a battleground. Like California is in the blue column. Yeah, that's huge. And I'm glad, and I'll tell you why that's happened. It's these transplants that have fled these liberal states up north from the lockdowns have come down here and registered Republican. And it's got to be. It's amazing.
What's going on now with Pelosi and the beating the Haitians with stick
whips.
No, this breaks the back of it.
Oh yeah.
Making them voters.
Yeah. No. They're having. I'm looking outside, and I got to tell you, this is going to be a day that you are very grateful that you have that new roof from Tom Laporte at Laporte Contracting, because it is. I'm looking south over towards where you live, and oh man, these are some of the darkest skies and clouds I've seen all hurricane season. Oh yeah. Yeah. Do you guys, when it looks like it's going to rain, you had leaks in your roof for so long, do you guys just automatically go and get the pots and pans and start spreading them around the house because been doing that for so long?
A reflex.
No.
One of the holes that we had in the roof prior to Tom Laporta working his magic was directly over my host's chair.
Oh, in the studio, yeah.
As I was, in fact, you probably remember, he says, what was that?
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
But no more worry about that. A great job.
No more.
Super people.
Well, that's great. Well, hey, listen, guys, I really, it looks like it's about 8 o'clock at night outside. It's so dark. And I'm looking out towards where you live. Now, because the curvature of the earth, I can't see quite as far as where your house is because you're far away. But it is black and dark as far as my eye can see, heading southwest. Well, listen, guys, call Tom Laporta. Have him do a roof inspection of your roof. He'll do it at no charge. And he does every type of roof, too, not just residential. He does condos, commercial properties, churches. He just recently put a new roof on a church. And oh yeah, well this one's awesome. And I have one of the tiles here. Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting has the actual Mar-a-Lago roof tiles, and these are very difficult to get. He has them, and the Mar-a-Lago roof tiles is an artistic. It's very artistic. They're not just high quality and the best because that's what Trump has. It's artistic. They're in different colors and have to be put on the roof in a certain artistic way to get that Mar-a-Lago effect. Tom Laporta has the tiles from Mar-a-Lago and knows how to get that Mar-a-Lago effect for the Trump roof on your home, your business. And when you give him a call, just ask him about the Trump roof. He'll know exactly what you're talking about. His number, which rings directly to his cell phone, is 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And he's a good MAGA guy, all right? So give him a call, and he'll take very good care of you. You know, this van life story is starting to take off now because they got the the FBI came to the parents' house and everything. Well, they're saying, I was watching yesterday, the FBI went to the parents' house and the sister's house of the boyfriend, and they took all kinds of stuff out. They got all their cell phones, all their computers and everything, and it looks like the parents may have helped him flee. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. The parents are in on this after the fact.
Well, the parents did something very strange. Very strange. They, the boyfriend, his car was at the parents' house yesterday. Got towed away. It's a Mustang, and the parents said they went out looking for him in that wildlife refuge, Everglades swamp area, or whatever. And when they were searching, they found his car. They saw his Mustang there. They left and came back and got it and drove it back to the house. And I don't know, it sounds like that whole thing that he escaped into the Everglades was a false narrative put up by the parents.
Knee deep in this.
Yeah. I mean, that means they're done. They're done. You know, I mean, they're accessories after the fact to a murder.
Ray, I think we've underestimated this guy, the boyfriend. I think he's a lot sharper than, I just assumed he was a rube, who was swinging from the, from the heels.
Yeah.
But he seems to know what he's doing, and he's got the FBI evidently pretty.
I don't agree. I remember Casey Anthony. She's not very bright, and she not only did she have the police and the FBI fooled and everybody else. The daughter, she left the body at the end of her street, and they never even found it for a long, long time. Like a cable guy or electrician or from FPL or something found the body. It seems to me these criminals aren't so smart. It's just we got a lot of Keystone cops out there,
This moving around on the chessboard that they're doing with the parents and being in on it, to where now the parents are.
That's common though, isn't it? I mean. Isn't it common when you got, law-abiding parents and something happens, it's very common for parents to do this.
Son, or how would...
As the victim or the kid? Well, I think, I would like to think I would not help, I'd like to think I wouldn't help, but what happens a lot of times, like this, we don't know exactly how she died yet. And now they got this new 911 call where somebody had witnessed him beating her up, and when that body cam footage, I saw a lot of ladies that are talking heads on TV yesterday talking about this. They said her behavior is classic, a battered woman trying to protect the abuser, with the cops, which is what she did. She.
Well, first it was the girl did the hitting, the boyfriend did the hitting. They were both beating on each other. What's so hard?
Yeah, they should have called their parents and gotten her home. Well, only one of them's dead that we know of, and so what happens is he goes home like a lot of kids, and he's got a sob story for mom and dad, and they believe him because that's how it is with parents a lot of times.
Sob story like what?
We got into a fight. She stormed off, wouldn't get back in the van, and that was the last I saw of her. Well, people die in the deserts, in that arid thing. Yeah, so, some story like that, and then the parents get roped up, Like in Natalie Holloway, the father helped him.
But the bottom line is, if it was your daughter, you wouldn't
Well, everyone says that until I guess they face the question. It's easy to say I would never do that, and I would tell you right now I wouldn't. But no, I said I wouldn't. But it's easy for everybody to say, "Oh no, I wouldn't do that." And I see a lot of times in these high-profile cases where the parents help. Sometimes they don't, but a lot of times they do help.
Kind of sidelight to it. You remember Adrian? She was down here. She cut a commercial for us.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, your daughter Adrian. Yeah.
Lady, the victim here is a dead ringer for Adrian.
Well, I don't know if you want to use dead ringer in the context of the story, but she looks very much like her. Is what you mean?
Very much.
No.
So.
Yeah. No. Well, hopefully she's not living in a van with some loser.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been thrilled with that.
No, these poor parents.
So when he first entered the picture here, he seemed to look a little more clean cut, a little more wholesome than he does now that they've got a body connected to him.
Oh, he looks scummy from the get-go to me. But when people live in a van, they don't take good care of themselves. So that might be it. But no, it's a tragic story. It's a tragic story.
Because you know about these things.
Oh, the van life, yeah.
Yeah, you were telling me that there's a whole subculture out there.
Oh, it's huge. It's a huge thing. It's called being homeless, but they've kind of social media has glorified homelessness, and people have Instagrams and YouTube channels all about living in vans and living in cars, and they make it look so cool and hip and everything, but it's anything but.
Saying is they're homeless people.
Exactly, yeah. Steve Kane Show.
But not vanless.
Steve, hey,
homeless but not vanless.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, listen, let's take a quick break, all right? We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. If you're on hold, stand by. Back to our phones after this break. We'll be back after this. Don't go anywhere.
With diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a
Steve Kane Show.
that can lead to severe health consequences.
Hey, Barry, hold on. Steve Kane Show.
At the sole authority at little or
Yeah, hold on.
your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to one pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the sole authority today, 954-597-7060.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is quickly approaching. Make sure you get the right coverage. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080. Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, and it's time to check in with attorney Barry Siegel, our estate planning and Medicaid planning attorney. Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing good. What's going on in the area of elder law and estate planning today?
Well, one thing I'm noticing, and I'm sure we all are, that our friends the snowbirds are coming down.
Oh yeah.
I'm starting to notice it, and they're continuing to come down. And so, first of all, if that is you, of course, one of the things that many of you are doing is calling your attorney, calling us to make sure that your estate plans are up to date. We always recommend that they be reviewed and potentially updated every 3 to 5 years. And if you are a Florida resident, then you're going to want to make sure that your Florida trust is updated. And even if you are one of the snowbirds who maintains your residency up north, if you're staying here any substantial amount of time, you still should have your Florida powers of attorney, Florida healthcare surrogate, Florida living will, Florida HIPAA authorization, and all that, and still maintain your New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, or wherever it is that you maintain your residency, and keep those same documents up there as well.
Yeah, and if people don't have things set up properly, Barry, they can have probates in 2 states, right?
Resident here, and you maintain and own property in another state, if you don't have the living trust and you don't have that property in the other state funded in your living trust, then not only are you going to have a probate, you're going to have 2 probates. Double the nightmare.
Wow. Wow, one's enough. I can't imagine two. Listen, give Attorney Barry Siegel a call at the Siegel Law Group. It's a completely free consultation if you mention you heard them on the radio with the Siegel Law Group. And the number is toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we will talk later in the week. All right, take care. Let me ask you with us, Steve? Yeah, let me ask you this. They let this boyfriend go. If he were black, do you think they would have let him go? Or would they have stayed on him, the cops? They didn't even have a tail on this guy. Now he's gone. They may never get him now. Oh my goodness. I don't know.
Gotta admit the cops look pretty stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This Bob Woodward book comes out today. And there's another book, too, coming out with Melania's press secretary, Stephanie Grisham. That's a really nasty book from Stephanie Grisham. In fact, she's going to be publishing private text messages she had with Melania in this book, apparently. They got these Trump slanders coming out. But, this Bob Woodward book, unfortunately, a lot of times with these books, all the good stuff comes out like long before the book comes out, and then by the time the book comes out, it's like, oh, that's old news. But there's a big difference going on here. Later this month, I don't have an exact date on it, but Milley is going to be testifying in front of Congress, maybe next week. And he's just going to be destroyed by the Republicans. You don't think the Republicans are going to go after Milley?
I mean, he's a pretty in-your-face guy. I mean, it's hard to.
That'll make it worse.
Turn it.
Yeah, oh no, it's gonna. The book this week, there'll be some negative things about President Trump in there that they'll try to that won't, But when the testimony happens with Milley, it's going to be all about this. And every story we have is confirming that he did what it is that he did. They had a story yesterday that came out from Woodward, and it says that Milley informed people above him, whoever that may be, that he was in communication with China. So now the web of conspiracy has grown.
Don't you understand? This is going to be. How do you think this is going to play out when Milley gets on this?
That every Democrat will thank him to dedicating his life to public service and the hard work that he's done. And the
whole interview is going to end up being an attack on Trump.
Yeah,
it's justified.
Mm-hmm. But in the end, Milley is going to be forced to retire. He's going to be out. Yeah, and I would take any kind of victory right now, and that would be the beginning of something, And you got the Democrats, they can't give Trump credit for anything. So if they agree, they're all backing up Milley and agreeing that he did what he did, but they're justifying it. But you can't justify an illegal action. What he did was illegal, and everybody that he told about it is involved in that illegal conspiracy. It's not okay.
And everybody in Washington is on one side. Going into this is on one side.
Yeah, well,
and it's gonna be the Trump people against the anti-Trump.
There's a chain of command. He's supposed to, and if he believes, if Milley were to believe that the president was out of control and was going to give an illegal order, he tells the Secretary of Defense, who's a member of the cabinet, who talks to the Vice President, and then they determine. So they didn't do any of that. They didn't tell the Secretary of Defense or Pence.
When the Democrats start to cross-examine Milley, that's not going to be the
Everyone is going to be thanking him. They're going to thank every Democrat. Thank you for your lifetime of public service. That'll be the beginning of every Democrat. A variation of it, but yeah, that's what they'll do. But
on the other hand, Milley's not a very sympathetic guy.
No, and he's pathetically insecure.
I love my favorite line out of when he was talking about Trump. When he said the line about it being justified.
Yeah.
Shoot.
The kids, the 7 kids, righteous.
Heights, that's the phrase you used. You might want to pull it off the tape.
Oh my goodness. I'll go back and try. Yeah. Was that Millie? That Millie said that? Oh, I have to go back and look that up. Oh my goodness.
His summation.
You know, I was talking about this yesterday. You were off yesterday, but I was talking about this yesterday. I've heard a lot of people online say, you know, that incident with the drone killing the family, that they're like embarrassed, humiliated as an American. Your country did not do this. You know, this senile old coot president we had to show that he's with it and in charge. So they ordered a drone strike at a target that they had not properly investigated. And everyone connected with that should be out. I mean, the military allowed that to happen. You know, I mean, they're just incompetent. They're as incompetent as the police that let this van guy go.
With a strategy, you know that.
Well, the guy, the suicide.
The strategy. Trump was a lunatic.
Oh, that's not going to fly. Not going to fly. And
fly among the Trump people, the Millie people, the Democrats.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not going to fly. He's going to be out. He's not gonna make it. He's going to be forced to retire. He'll still get his pension, and he'll probably be on CNN giving analysis and everything. But him being forced to retire is a big humiliation for a pathetically insecure man. As you know, he's insecure because he has so many medals on. You know.
Sure of how Biden's going to handle this.
Oh, they're not going to have a choice. He's going to be so let me tell you, some of the Republicans. You're right what the Democrats will do, but the Republicans are going to be on him like you've never seen any hearing before. They're going to go off on Millie. In fact, it's so bad, even the January 6th committee with Liz Cheney up there wants the information. She's even looking into it because it's that bad. It's so bad that even the Trump haters are having to address it. Yeah. And I love that the Democrats let the Democrats defend Millie's treacherous actions. Now on Saturday, I stopped by Richard Pearl's Simply Natural. It was the first time I'd been over there since Richard Pearl passed away, Steve. Oh. Well, I got to tell you, I went over there, and it was my first time there since Richard Pearl had passed away. I had to restock my supplements, which I did, but it was a little strange being there without him, I'll tell you. It's the first time I've been in the store without Richard Pearl being there, because he was always there. So it was a little strange. But you know, I don't know the names of the supplements that I take, and I didn't bring the empty bottles with me. So I. Well, I know. So I got there and when I pulled up, I'm like, oh man, I meant to bring the bottles. I didn't have them. I called my wife and I was going to have her take a picture. I threw the bottles went out with the garbage already. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I went inside, and you know, everyone that works over there at Simply Natural worked with Richard Pearl, was trained by Richard Pearl, and had been with Richard Pearl for over 20 years. Some of them 25. So I went in and I said, you know, I don't know what supplements I take. I don't know what they were called. But Richard Pearl gave me supplements for this, for that, and this other thing. And they said, oh, that's this, and that. And I was like, sure enough, those are the bottles. I recognized the bottles, so they knew right away. So, which was a big help to me. I'm here to tell you. And I got my supplements. So everyone that works over there, like I say, they were trained by and educated by Richard Pearl. They know the store and the products as well as he did. So when you go over there, whoever is helping you, they'll be able to take very, very good care of you. Now there is a change, and that's the store hours. Okay, they're now open Monday through Saturdays, closed on Sundays. And Monday through Saturday they're open, closed on Sundays. Monday through Saturday, open 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now, of course, Simply Natural is located in Sunrise, just north of Sunset Strip, on the east side of University in the shopping center with the IHOP. Okay, and you can also order by phone. Those of you out of town who were big fans and listeners of Richard Pearl's radio program, both his political show and his health show on the weekends, you can order by phone. They'll ship to you anywhere. And the number is 954-741-4045. 954-741-4045. All right, we'll take our break. and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy
Steve Kane Show.
Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all
Hey,
the
hold on.
major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is quickly approaching. Make sure you get the right coverage. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to Any Lab Test Now in Coral Springs. It was great. I didn't want to have to stay in line for 2 hours and have a swab stuck down my nose into my brain. It was very pleasant. I made an appointment. They got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind.
Man.
Know that you and your family are safe. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on radio. Just search for W.
All right, I'm back. Steve Kane is here. It's the Steve Kane Show. Yep.
Another one of our radio was.
Oh, I talked about it yesterday. Yeah, Laura Loomer. Yeah. I talked to Laura Loomer on Sunday, and, what happened when I went over to Richard Pearl's store on Saturday, and my wife was around. I was in the parking lot waiting for my wife to try to find my supplement bottles so I could take them in. I was reading the news, and there was a huge story about, I knew she had COVID, but there was a huge story that really scared me in the Daily Mail that said that not only did she have COVID, she was not doing well, and that she was telling people to get vaccinated and to wear masks. And I saw that headline, and I thought to myself, that does not sound like Laura Loomer. So she must be doing bad. I mean, it sounded like a deathbed kind of thing, that you hear from these, from people. And so I sent her a text message, and she didn't get back to me. She usually gets back to me right away. She didn't get back to me, and I was getting kind of very, very worried. She usually gets back to me like immediately if I send her a text message. And she finally on Sunday got in touch with me, Laura Loomer, and she said it's all fake news. She never said any of those things. And she said, no, she has COVID. She's recovering, but the other reporting is about things that she said are not true. And she said she's recovering, and she said half of Twitter are wishing her dead, and the other half are putting stories out there that are fake news that COVID has turned her into a Democrat. She says, don't believe any of those things. But when she's able to talk better, we're going to have her on the show. But she's still pretty sick.
People who are peripherally connected with the business have been affected by it.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, she's only 28. She'll do well. She's young and healthy. She'll do well. I'm not worried about her. And I could tell by the way she was. I just texted with her, but I could tell by the way her text messages were worded that she was like back to her old self, because she was, making smarty remarks about the media and everything. You could tell. All right, well let's go back to the phones. 1-888-GO-CANE-1 is the number. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. I hope I misunderstood or misheard, but is Richard Pearl okay?
Richard Pearl passed away a few weeks ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Oh my God, that's why he was on the radio. I go on the radio, and then I'm like, where's Richard Pearl?
Well, he's in the great beyond now. I know. I'm in shock about it. When I was at his store on Saturday, like I was telling Steve, it was the first time I'd ever been in his store without him there, and I was looking around, and he's got his books, Fahrenheit 451 and 1984 and Brave New World are there, and I was like, oh man. I know.
Doing so much, I have to tell you. Very smart man. But what happened? What did he...
Well, he I don't know exactly what the cause of death was, but he had COVID.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I don't know what the underlying. I did talk to Richard Pearl's wife last week. I had a conversation with his wife, and and she's obviously, devastated. No. No, it's shocking. I know it's shocking. It hasn't really set in with me yet.
Open, I thought I heard incorrectly. I'm like, please tell me they're wrong. I don't call you very often, and I said I gotta call and find out because it would bother me all day.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm glad you did. Yeah, I know. But we're still, sharing with you. His store is still open for business, and a lot of people ask me, how can they help? The best way he can help, Richard Pearl owned that store with his wife, and now his wife is, she's running it. So that's the best way you can support his memory. Okay. All right. Hey, listen. Thanks for calling. All right. Take care. I know. You know how many times I've told people that? I mean, it's like, oh my goodness. They're bringing back cops on the Fox News app.
What do they charge for that?
It's not too expensive, but you don't have a smart TV. You'd have to watch it on your phone. You have to get a new TV where you can get the app. I've had that Fox Nation app, and I canceled it. I'm not a big fan of the Fox Nation app.
I haven't even been tempted because I don't watch any of the Fox Nation specials. But I love cops. I'd love to see cops.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to see cops because I'm curious to know how they do cops now. Because now we're doing cops in this woke world. It's not like the old days of cops. And in today's world, the cops are the bad guys is so much of the perception. And I don't know. I think you might see some different type of police work than you used to see. I think the police might be doing their police work a little different than back in the old days of cops.
Well, they were always polite. I mean, they were always cops. They were always the good guys to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, no. But the cops have to handle themselves in a different way than they did in the 80s and 90s. Because you arrest someone and you're white and they're black, you could go to jail these days. It's not the same world that it was for police officers. And I think that police officers are probably not as tough as they used. We'll find out if we watch the new. I might subscribe to it for a month just to watch the new Cop so we can talk about it. Because I'm very curious to see how they police. No, you got to get the app. You got to get the Fox Nation app on your phone or your TV. It's just like $5 a month or something. Yeah, but no, it's not worth. Everything else I've seen up there is not worth $5 a month. But I'll get it just to watch the new Cops. I hope they don't change the song. I hope they have the same song.
You gotta have the same song. That's the whole marketing program is.
Yeah.
What is Trump?
Bad boys, what you gonna do? Yeah. When Sheriff John Brown come for you? Is that what it says? I think it's John Brown. I for some reason that just popped in my mind. I don't know. All right, let's take some calls. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I just want to say, it occurred to me. About a week ago, I don't know, Biden was giving a talk in the Midwest about something, climate control, I don't know. And then when he was done reading his speech, he turned his back as usual, and the
That's funny, Rob. I'm going to bring that up, Rob. That was very funny.
You know, his ratings are down, and he shouted back, I don't care. And then another one said something, and he said, Biden said, did you hear me? I don't care. And then Biden just said something loud. There was no more questions. He just says, I don't care if you think I'm the devil himself. I don't.
I think what you might have seen is some doctored audio online. It pains me to watch Biden speak, but I have to sometimes so we can talk about it. You know, I have to be informed. And
Don't care.
Well, if he cared, would he have gone bicycle riding with his wife over the weekend? You know, it looked like the opening credits of an 80s sitcom, riding on some love trek on the bike after this, you know.
He's just trying to play tough guy.
Biden thinks, let me tell you this, Biden thinks riding the bike with his wife makes him look like he's fit and everything else. Any man who wears a bicycle helmet when he's on a bike ride does not look like a tough guy.
He does. He's just trying to make himself seem full of vim and vigor.
Is it working?
Is it working?
Is it working?
Oh, there are plenty of people I know who think he's the greatest thing, and I can't.
What do you hang out at mental hospitals? Who thinks he's great?
Yeah, I looked at some of the latest surveys. It's really interesting. They've got Biden still with all the low numbers and everything that's going on. He's still got a solid 35% of the vote, and I can't conceive that. Who could watch what's going on with Joe Biden and give him a positive rating on his job approval? It's just
the only hope that's left is the midterms to take the House.
Yeah. Oh, you're an opinionated guy. No, he's getting nervous. Yeah, but he knew it. He knew he was about to lose control. Yeah, that was David Banner, I think, who we had on the line, if anybody gets that reference. Dr. David Banner. Well, you know, this thing about cops, somebody in our chat room, they made a funny comment. They said, are the new cops going to take a knee when they stop a suspect? I wouldn't be surprised. Would you be surprised?
This upcoming election is, it's in the long-range perspective of how America survives.
Or minutes. I mean, we have so many. There's no area of this country that's doing well right now. Biden was handed a perfect country by Donald Trump, a perfect country, and he has destroyed it. Now, I got to tell you, we're coming to our break. I don't know if you guys could hear that thunder. But let me tell you, we are in hurricane season. Not only does it rain every day in Florida. Oh, boy. Was that you breathing, or was that thunder at your house, Steve? That sounded like thunder in the headphones. Oh, my goodness. And I just heard thunder outside my window, and it's not just going to rain. This is going to be a bad one, I can tell, looking outside. You need to call Tom Laporta and have him do a free roof inspection of your home. If you have a wet spot on your ceiling, you have a leak in your roof. And, you know, that leak, you don't want to do what Steve did. Ignore it. It gets bigger. Next thing you know, you need a whole new roof. You may just need a simple repair. But those of you out there that have condo associations or homeowners associations, Tom Laporta at Laporta Contractors has a Laporta Contracting has a special skill set when it comes to dealing with homeowners associations and condo associations. He handled Steve's very well, and you know how problematic HOAs and condo associations can be. He does every type of roof, commercial, condo, churches, home roofs, of course, like Steve's. And I'll just tell you a quick story before we break. One of our listeners called up a while back, and they have a condo association. They called out 2 roofers to look at their roof, and they told them they needed a whole new roof for the entire condo. Tom Laporta came out. He took a look. It needed a simple repair. Isn't that something? You know, that's absolutely amazing. So give Tom Laporta a call at Laporta Contracting, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. We'll take our break and be right back.
Stop paying an outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van. At the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Saddlefoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Seniors, Medicare open enrollment is quickly approaching. Make sure you get the right coverage. Call Debbie at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080. 954-753-8080.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for it.
All right, we are back 46 minutes after 8. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, and of course, it's Gold Report time. Each day at this time, we check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold Report. William Youngerman, good morning. Good. How are the metals looking today?
Metals looking good after the big stock market crash yesterday, and then major concerns, economic concerns out of China are pushing metals higher also. The gold yesterday trading in a range of 1743, all the way, and then all the way back up to 1768, closing out the day up $10.20 at $1,764. That's a reversal, key reversal after we've seen a downtrend there for a few days over last week and this week. Silver traded in a range of $22.03 all the way up to $22.60, closing out the day at $22.25. That was up 12 cents. Platinum was down $29 at $905, and palladium was down $144 at $1,806. This morning we got gold higher, trading overnight between 1758 and 1776. Right now gold trading at 1771.50. That's up $7.50. Silver up 30 cents at $22.55 the ounce. Platinum up $26 at $931. And palladium up $40 at $1,846. Bitcoin down another $540 at $46,200. That's pretty much what we're...
Yeah, and don't forget, William Youngerman not only sells the metals, he also buys them. So if you have anything made of the metals, old jewelry, watches, silverware, anything made of the metals that's just collecting dust, or maybe you've got some jewelry that's out of date, out of style, or you're missing part of a collection, take it in. get an appraisal, turn it into money, or turn it into a coin so you can monitor the value of your metal. Open weekdays at 10 a.m. You can give them a call at 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, and located right here in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road, and the address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care. Quick thing, that drone strike where Biden killed the 7 kids, that the media have just basically disappeared that story, Steve. I mean, it's gone. I remember, just popped in my mind, President Trump ordered that strike on that Iranian terror leader, that general that was backing all the terror, and the media had a melt. How could he take out this terror leader in the Iranian army? This is terrible. And they spent weeks, they were talking about impeaching him, and they were going to bring us to the brink of war. Biden killed 7 kids, 11 people, all innocent, 7 of them kids. And the story's already gone. Next news cycle.
Real story. They have a picture of the kids.
Oh, yeah, it's just...
You see them?
Yeah, it's terrible, yeah. Back in the Dr. Kevorkian days with that right to die stuff, what side was it? Conservatives against Kevorkian and liberals supporting the right to die? Which was it? Do you remember? Was there a political breakdown during those days? It's been so long. Like in Terry Schiavo. My recollection, like with Terry Schiavo, is the liberals were the pull the plug people, and the conservatives were the right to life with people. Yeah, and that assisted suicide, I'm very much against that. I mean, that's, people can be manipulated and everything else. And look at this millionaire that hired the hitman on himself. Things happen. But the liberals have always been the, right to die and make medical decisions. There's a new story they have today. It's a tragic story. It's all over the place, and it's a lead story on CNN. And here's the headline. I'll just read it to you. Nurse who refused vaccination dies of COVID. She refused to be vaccinated even as her mother lay in a coma fighting for her life against COVID. Now she's another victim and she's gone. If I don't understand, there seems to be this, I'm not saying that these are like assisted suicides directly, but I learned something about vaccinations yesterday from someone. I was watching something online. I did not know this. A lot of people have been saying, well, wait a minute, the government requires all kinds of vaccinations. You can't go to school without it. And I didn't realize this till I heard this yesterday. The federal government doesn't require any vaccinations of any kind prior to this. That's all been done by the states. The states have required vaccinations for school kids and things like this, but never the federal government. Yeah, well, this is the first time the federal government has required vaccinations. First time. It's never happened before. So I think that's a significant difference in the whole story, most conservatives are pretty comfortable with the state they live in making a decision about things. You may not always agree with it, but the federal government has never required vaccinations from a federal level before, and it's a very dangerous precedent because it's another step towards socialized healthcare. Once they got control of it, but I don't know the story other than what I just read you, the headline of this tragedy of this nurse that passed away. But liberals always have stood very strong for people making their own medical decisions until now. And I don't know why now all of us... I mean, this abortion change in Texas is going up before the Supreme Court, and there's going to be a big Roe v. Wade case in front of the Supreme Court. And the liberals will say, even with these two stories, they have conflicting arguments. They'll say... medical decisions are between a patient and a doctor, not for the government to come in and tell you what to do when it comes to abortion. But this is different to them, and I don't see anybody calling them out on that hypocrisy on that. That's just me. And
that's good.
Well, I did. Yes, I'm doing it. I'm calling them out on their hypocrisy. But I
didn't get a chance to read this article, but Tyler just handed me my copy of the Post, And there is an article which I have not read, but if you have read it, you can call in about it. Time's limited.
Pamela, $50 super chat. Thank you. Let's sign off. Got to go to work. See you on Patreon. Thank you, Pamela.
Horrible kidnapping case.
Oh, yeah.
Parents, the experts are saying the parents may be off the hook. I did not have a chance to read the article.
Oh, that to me sounds like trying to loosen them up so they'll talk. I saw one of the reporters says that they don't even know for sure that the boyfriend came to the parents' house. Like, it was reported he was in Florida at the parents' house, and they're saying that may not have even been. There's no evidence that no one saw him there. So that whole thing may have been. It sounds like they're trying to loosen the parents up and get them to talk.
They're really deep.
Now we're winding down here, and before we go, Steve, this is an amazing deal from MyPillow, unlike any other that he's offered before, okay? And Mike Lindell is calling this the sale of the year, and this is the most incredible BOGO deal that I have ever heard. And again, BOGO, buy one, get one free when you use the promo code Kane. This is on the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. Now, I have 2 sets of the sheets. My wife's ordering 2 more with this offer, and this is amazing, okay? You know, they come in multiple colors. They come in many different colors, the MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets, and even different types of sheets. They come in the regular bed sheets and flannel. When you get the buy one, get one offer with our promo code Kane, both sheets don't have to be the same. You can get 2 different colors. You can get 2 different sizes. You can get 1 regular and 1 flannel. You can get 1 queen and 1 king. You can get 1 twin and 1 California king. It doesn't matter. The second set, you get to choose what kind, what color, and everything you want about that one too. That's a new thing they're offering. So this is an incredible deal. And we already have 2 sets of them. So what we're doing is we're going to buy 2 more. We're going to get 1 more regular set and a flannel set. Because, we have like 1 or 2 cold days in Florida. I think it gets so cold it's like 70 degrees outside. So we want to have flannel sheets for that one day. So we're going to get 1 set of flannel and 1 set of regular with the BOGO offer using the promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And this is a pretty cool deal and I'll tell you why. This has never been offered before, and if you have different, like say you want a set for yourself, but you want one for your kids' room, different size beds, that's okay. Or maybe your guest room's a different size than your master bedroom. That's okay. You can get 2 different sizes. And it also helps for Christmas shopping because that's 2 Christmas gifts. Someone on your gift-giving list may have a queen, right? Or an RV queen. Or they may have a queen-size bed. You can get 2 gifts for 2 different people with this BOGO offer that have 2 different size beds and like 2 different color sheets. It's amazing how you can do these combinations. But you've got to use the promo code Kane at checkout. And I'll tell you, take advantage of it quick. Don't waste time because this is the sale of the year. It says so right there at MyPillow.com. They're going to start to run out of sizes and colors. And when they do, it'll end because they'll have to end it when they start running out of different colors and different sizes. So take advantage of this now and do your Christmas shopping early because this offer will probably not be around, not only not for long, at Christmas either. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code Kane, Kane. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. Well, we're out of time, Steve. You want to sign us off?
That does it for today. We will be back to do it all over again tomorrow, 6 a.m. Be sure to be there or be square. On behalf of my son, of whom I'm very proud of,
Steve Kane radio listeners love Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca.
All right, guys. Hey, listen. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Everyone, like the video before you go, if you don't mind, all right? Like the video, and if you could share the video, that would help too. Get your friends to sub. That always helps. It's going to shut everything down here. Got to turn on our voicemail.
561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, there we go. Show's over. Yeah. I use my own mic. I'm the only one that uses this studio during the week. There's someone who uses it on the weekend for another show. But this is my headset. I'm the only one I do not share mics. I tell those people a lot. Sharing mics is like putting your mouth up on a urinal. It's disgusting. I did this before. It has nothing to do with COVID. I've never shared mics. I've always had my own mic. You got to be out of your mind to share microphones. All right, guys. Hey, listen. Again, thanks for watching. If you're not, make sure you subscribe. And, of course, like the video. All right, guys. I'll see you later.